One of the very cool things about the Star Wars sequel trilogy was the Force dyad shared by Rey and Kylo Ren. And it can serve as a kind of metaphor for the twin flame experience. Well, so let's explore, and just as meditation plays a big role in the life of a Jedi, let's explore what type of a role meditation can play in the twin flame journey. As I've mentioned before, and as Gaurav Dorje, the founder of Dzogchen, mentioned many centuries ago, there is great power, great manifesting power in the simple act of coordinating our mindfulness with our inhalation and our relaxation with our exhalation. So as we sit in meditation, the various attributes of an ideal partner could come to mind. And that's splendid. When they come to mind, we neither clutch them tightly nor try to make it happen. We simply notice it, perhaps silently and mentally reciting to ourselves, notice this. As we exhale, we do not feed it energy, we do not visualize, we do not emote, we do not believe, we simply relax. And doing so, we are letting go of the obstacles between us and that which we desire. And so this is a very peaceful, very passive form of manifesting. Once we're in a relationship, as we sit in meditation, ideas can come to us. We can be shown ways we might have messed up or ways we could do better. And when we share our insights with a partner, they might poo-poo and say, oh, no, you're fine. But the fact is, the centered spontaneity, or let me jump back, the perception, vulnerable, passive, visceral, and random, can serve to guide us to become better and better partners once we've manifested a partner, or if we already have a partner. Eventually, if you're in a relationship long enough, there will be an opportunity to have what some people call a hard talk, not a breakup talk, but a difficult talk. And so there are two things to bear in mind. Number one, if we go in there trying to control the destiny of our relationship, we're already on the path of the Sith. Our job is to voice concerns gently and respectfully. It's up to your partner whether or not they implement them. That's super important. We're not on the path of yang, we're on the path of yin. We're not on the path of controlling, we're on the path of allowing, the path of being laid back. That's crucial. So let's discuss two dynamic fringe benefits that come from our regular practice of noticing as we breathe in, not concentrating, but noticing as we breathe in and relaxing as we breathe out while sitting impeccably in meditation. The first benefit is that the electrical activity in our underbrain migrates up to our anterior cingulate gyrus. It migrates up from the fear center to the empathy center. So the highest love is not decided upon. It's not chosen. The highest love is spontaneous and uncontrived. And we set room for that to occur by regularly meditating, at least for 5 minutes or so, at least twice a day. I recommend 12 hours or so. So for instance, 6 in the morning, 6 at night, 7 in the morning, 7 at night. You get the idea. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but a regular twice daily practice can go a long way to helping us become as loving as we would like to be. And now for the second fringe benefit. We talk a lot about the flow state, about our choices and our utterances and our deeds flowing from the zone. We make the zone is accessed through meditation. The zone is the midpoint between the two extremes of being completely contrived or experiencing scattered spontaneity. For the midpoint is not scattered spontaneity, but centered spontaneity. From centered spontaneity, armed only with love, the words will come at the right time and in the right way. Now, just because the right words come in the right way doesn't necessarily mean they will transform your partner, or doesn't mean they'll be well received. If they're not well received, persist with centered spontaneity. And when you feel turmoil, which is natural, go back to meditation respectfully, tell your partner if there's turmoil, reassure them that you love them, that you wish to be your best self for them, and they're going to walk around the block a few times doing some walking meditation so you can work through whatever turmoil comes up and return to the centered spontaneity. If you do this as gently and lovingly and vulnerably as you can, if not immediately, then at least in time, your partner will see that you respect them and you're willing to do the hard work on yourself to be the best you for them, which could inspire them on some level to train up to that example. This applies to any relationship, whether it is vocational, recreational, platonic, or intimate. And if someone you're in a relationship with doesn't respect your sincere efforts to be kind and respectful and centered, then they're probably doing you a favor by letting you know where they're at. Now let's tie this up in a big red bow. Relationships can come from meditation. Relationships can be enhanced by meditation. Relationships can be guided by meditation. And now let's break for about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So together now, as a team, let's chant the Tuesday evening passage of the first Dzogchen treatise. Its name is The Vast Expanse of Vajrasattva. Its author is Gaurab Dorje. It was translated from the Tibetan into English by Yeshe Dondan, and it's been adapted and amplified by yours truly. Together, let's chant. Some meditators strive to put their minds into a thought-free state, thinking this gives them access to something subtle. By the way, if at any point you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. On your laptop, it'll be on the right. On your smartphone, the chat window will be down below. Some meditators strive to put their minds into that thought-free state, thinking this gives them access to something subtle. They isolate themselves in lonely places. Examine closely, this seems to be a form of conceptual meditation. So, in other words, trying to choose what state we're experiencing is contrivance. It's not allowing. It's the path of yang, it's not the path of yin. Let's not do that. Trying to control our mind is no different than trying to control our circumstances. Both lead to tears. Let us traverse the path of yin, the path of being flexible and laid back. Together, thinking in terms of causes and results, the seekers strive to transcend this world. They reject the bad and accept the good, although non-dual wisdom already transcends dualities like bad and good. So we don't need to beat ourselves up to do the right things. We don't need to guilt ourselves out. We don't need to frighten ourselves. If we access centered spontaneity through mindfulness and meditation, we will be drawn to empathy spontaneously and effortlessly. And that's where we want to work, not from a list of shoulds, but from by flowing from loving, centered spontaneity. I'm reminded of the first two movies in the RoboCop franchise. In the first movie, RoboCop had 3 directives. In the second movie, at one point he had a laundry list of directives and he couldn't even think straight. If we just cultivate centered spontaneity, the empathy will come naturally. The words and the choices and the deeds will flow naturally. Choose perception and release. Everything else will fall into place. Let's continue. Clinging and indifference are concepts so to echo like is anything in between. So everything is echo-like. Everything is capable of being perceived and then capable of being released. Imagine, if you will, if your hands were clean and dry and someone handed you a bowling ball. That would be easy to hold on to. Now imagine you hand the bowling ball off, you slather your hands in sunscreen. They're all gloppy now. Someone hands you the exact same bowling ball. This time it slides right through your fingers. Everything's like that. When we notice something, it's like having tacky hands and a bowling ball. As we relax into our exhalation, it's like having greasy hands and a bowling ball. It's natural. It's therapeutic. Allow it to happen. Let's continue. Joy and sorrow arise from the same source, so declares Vajrasattva, refuge of all. Emotion is emotion, whether that emotion is pleasurable or painful or interesting or boring or glorious or grotesque, it's still an emotion. As long as there are circumstances, as long as we have a body, as long as there are other entities to interface with, as long as we have a mind, there are going to be emotions. They're going to come and go, and we'll experience an entire spectrum of them. We will exhaust ourselves if we can always try to parse them out. But if we accept whatever fleeting emotion comes through the power of mindfulness and meditation, life is going to be much more manageable. Let's continue together. Where else could aversion, attachment, and anger arise except from the luminous energy of mind? Objects of pleasure are also just this, formulations of the energy of the light of wisdom. When we look at this passage deeply and sit with this passage, it becomes clear that we're not being told to lie to ourselves. We're not being told to call it rain when the dog pees on our foot. We're simply told to, or encouraged to use generic terms. So instead of saying joy or sorrow, emotion. Instead of saying pleasure or pain, sensation. And instead of saying brilliant or dull, thinking. And instead of saying dangerous or safe, circumstance. That's the key to maintaining perception and a peace simultaneously. Let's see here. Now it's time for the primary meditation practice. If you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Both the Shastra and the Sadhana are available for free download. Everything I do is free. Let us chant. Let us perform a recitation of empathetic bodhicitta and enthusiastic refuge. We'll begin with the triplet chant. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. These three are so powerful, they are nicknamed the three wish-fulfilling jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. So as I inferred during our lesson, mindfulness and meditation are known by many names, including Zen, Chandhyana, Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, Ati Yoga, Dzogchen, and Trekcho. And yet they're fairly simple. As to practice mindfulness during our inhalation, instead of practicing active concentration, let's just practice perception. Vulnerable, passive, visceral, and random, allowing us to notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, imaginings, and confabulations. What do we do with that which we perceive? We meditate upon them. And how do we do that? During each exhalation, we are already wired for physical relaxation as well as mental release. Therefore, during each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, notice this. And during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, relaxing. And now, together as a team, let's meditate. As you breathe in, please silently and mentally recite, notice this. As you exhale, please silently and mentally recite, relaxing. It is not our job to concentrate as we breathe in, but to merely notice whatever happens, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. Let us seal this evening's practice with 2 chants, beginning with kind ethics. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow spontaneous and uncontrived. May everyone be free from misery, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this a thumbs up, and you could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation class and practice. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.